my name is Caitlin Sinclair Chappell with CBR, Comic Book Resources, and we're here at the BoxLunch Holiday Gala honoring Feeding America. We're going to be speaking with some of the guests as well as presenters, so let's dive right in. With Feeding America inspiring people to be heroes in their daily life by donating, what heroes inspire you, real or fictional?
Oh my God, I might get emotional. My grandma inspires me. She passed away last year, but she was just the most incredible human in the time that I've known her, in the time that I've been alive, and also for the 50 or so years before. She is someone who never took the status quo to be the law, who growing up as a woman in a time where women were not respected and told that they could not have careers of their own, broke out of that mold in a really big way and became a nurse and then a doctor and then the head pediatrician at her hospital. And in fact, she was present at my birth. To have walked that path again for somebody in that moment in time when the possibility just wasn't there, she refused to accept anything less than the very best for her.
Awesome. And wrapping this up, I would love to know, what does it mean to you now that you get to be a hero for so many other fans of the MCU?
I mean, it's an incredible feeling, and I hope that I just, with every step that I take, that I'm doing right by everybody, by all the fans, and by the people who put their trust in me. I'm very excited to be the giving ambassador of BoxLunch and to work together with Feeding America. I mean, I think if we can't use our platform to genuinely help people and make people's lives better, then what are we doing?
You entered the MCU with WandaVision, which was not only this franchise's first television series with Disney Plus, but it also was a very unique property for them. I would love to know, what was it like to enter with that show?
To end with it?
Enter into the MCU.
Oh, enter it.
Yeah.
It's wild, man. I mean, there's no mistaking being a part of a Marvel project at all. I mean, it's like, I sort of equate that with the one and only time I went to Dubai for a film I was in, and I went to the film festival there. And like nothing could prepare me for stepping into the Middle East in that place. It's like you expect gold to just like fall out of the sky. Everything's just like, it's so CGI. And you just feel like you're involved with something, you're in the presence of something very different. So that was, I was like, what's going on?
Oh, no, sorry.
No, it's okay. So yeah, I was very aware that it was a different, it's a very different type of project, and of course it was a great project, so artistically great as well.
Absolutely, and I would love to know, what about the character Dottie really appealed to you?
God, I don't know, no one's asked me that. That's weird. It's weird no one's asked me that. Well, I think it's really fun to play somebody who isn't very nice, and find out why they're not nice. The interesting part with that was, that she was a completely made up person in the world.
Yeah.
So it's like finding reasons for, it's like getting in touch with Wanda's reasons for making her the way she was. So it's like Wanda had the backstory for her. I didn't have a backstory for her. You know what I mean? That's unusual. I'm like trying to just sort of piece it together and not suck. So, I don't think I sucked. I don't know. They asked me back, so I guess I didn't. It's fine.
And I know that the MCU is very tight-lipped about the future and stuff like that, but I would love to know, is there anything you can tease about Dottie's future or share with us when it comes to that, or nothing at all?
Oh my God, I can't, of course.
Of course.
But I also, I know very little. I'm going to know a lot more next week, but I things are very, they're nebulous right now.
Were you a Hocus Pocus kid?
Was I a Hocus Pocus kid?
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's why I did the movie.
Absolutely.
I've watched that movie 100 times.
Yeah.
So then to get to be in it and then watch it from the inside, the new one, dream come true, truly.
Absolutely. I would love to know, what hooked you about the first Hocus Pocus? What made that impression for you?
What made that impression for me? I think it was, how old was I when that movie came out? I was like maybe 7 when that first movie came out, so it was a perfect age for a not too spooky, but still like mysteriously kind of spooky movie. And even at that age, I was like, it was very funny. It made me laugh, and I was like scared, and like it was just like the colors, those that purple, that orange, and that green, like just sat in my brain forever, and I just like watch it every year and then over and over again. So
Absolutely. And I would love to know, when it came to joining the sequel, what was your favorite memory?
to joining the sequel, my favorite memory was working with the ladies and working with Doug. You know, Doug Jones and I became like really good pals.
Oh, yeah.
And he's so sweet and so wonderful. And the ladies were amazing to work with, truly.
Focusing on Doug Jones, I would love to know, when it came to exploring the dynamic between your character and Doug's character, what was some of your favorite things to unpack with each other? What about that dynamic really stood out to you?
I think, I think it was just a fun that we had off camera. We became like good buddies, and then like you see Gilbert and Billy Butcherson. My goodness, my brain.
You're all good.
Gilbert and Billy become buds. So like it was like really mirrored. So we would be doing the scene, like having a good time, then go sit down and be having a good time. So that was like my favorite part. Yeah.
And wrapping this up, I would love to know, favorite Sanderson sister and why?
It's a good question. I think my favorite Sanderson sister is Sarah, because of Amok Amok Amok, and the Come Little Children song. That's if I had to pick. I don't have a favorite, mind you, because I love all three equally. But yes.
You partner with BoxLunch quite a few times.
A lot.
What about this brand sticks with you? What makes it stand out?
Above the crowd.
Yeah.
Even if they're gonna shout out loud, it's because they will understand that reference, right? Like they're one of the fans, and it's very rare that you get a brand that keeps the reason why they started in the first place, right? They're literally just a bunch of nerds like you and me, and you can feel that through all their products, through all their staff, their employees. You talk to somebody from BoxLunch and you just know that they're one of you.
Yeah.
So when they say like, hey, can you like check out some of our stuff? You say, hell yeah, because one, the stuff is dope.
Yeah.
But two, like, they made it with the same heart that you would make it with. So it's like you have no choice but to keep coming back to BoxLunch,
Absolutely. And with us being with comic book resources and fully immersed in the world of superheroes, with Feeding America, inspiring people to be heroes in their day-to-day life, I would love to know what heroes inspire you. Could be fictional, could be real. What heroes inspire JUJU?
All right, so I'll start with the fictional.
Okay.
Spider-Man.
Absolutely.
Period. Doesn't matter which one, whether it's Miles, Peter Parker, Hobie Brown, even Mayday Parker. Like, these are just normal people just doing the best they can. And they have not only just superpowers, but it's that responsibility that drives them to do the right thing. And I feel like if we were all more like Spider-Man, as corny as it sounds, I think this world would be like way better off.
I think so.
As far as like real, Kobe Bryant was always a big inspiration for me. His work ethic, the way he just approached life. Like, if you want something, go get it. Donald Glover, Jordan Peele, like Issa Rae, like I love these people so much because they Ryan Coogler. These are people who keep their voice no matter what they're doing. It's so easy to kind of get like lost in the sauce of like corporate America, Hollywood, whatever. But these are people who have a story to tell, and they don't lose that, right? And they're almost uncompromising. Sure, there's compromises, but they're uncompromising in who they are and that vision that they want to share with people. So I try to like approach every day with those type of mindsets and those influences.
Absolutely, and focusing on a few of the directors you mentioned, specifically Ryan Coogler as well as Jordan Peele, I would love to know for you, out of their film work, which have been some of your favorite movies from them and why? Okay,
so Ryan Coogler, I would say that first Creed is something special. It's absolutely something special. A lot of people won't say this. I'll say it on camera right now. Creed is on par with the first Rocky, in every measurable way. Like every measurable way. I would even say that maybe there's a step above just because of music alone. Just because of music alone. It kind of like makes it a little bit more of a cloth with it. Jordan Peele, Get Out, masterpiece. It's a horror masterpiece. I don't think we don't need to explain all that, right? Issa Rae's masterpiece is Insecure. I watched all of it twice. It's that great. And then Donald Glover, honestly, the fact that every time he puts out something, you're like, GOAT. go. You can't really choose just one. We can go with like his album, Awake My Love. We can go with his single, This Is America. We can go with his acting and pretty much anything. Atlanta. Like, he just does so much, and it's so inspiring.
And wrapping this up with BoxLunch doing so many products that are tied to different franchises, which franchise, property, IP would you love to see BoxLunch come out with? Absolutely.
I've been waiting for this one because I got two. Okay, we need some more One Piece stuff. I understand we got like some IP stuff going on with Toei Animation, but Toei, BoxLunch, you guys are a match made in heaven. I need a Loungefly One Piece Straw Hat Luffy bag today, yesterday, please. I see the One Piece stuff. I need more. I need way more. All right. Second, Iron Giant. I need some more Iron Giant stuff. That movie still hasn't made its money back to this very day. It came out in 1999, and it's one of the greatest animated movies ever told. You need to give it more love, because then we could probably get a sequel. Vin Diesel's waiting to come back. This is my stand. I will die on this mountain, because it's not a hill, it's a mountain. Iron Giant, One Piece, let's go.
I would love to know, what was one of your favorite memories from being on Drag Race?
Oh my goodness. My favorite memory, honestly, was the camp effect of all of it. It really did feel like summer camp, and for someone that wasn't really able to do that much growing up, I kind of got to relive my childhood. That was so much fun.
That's amazing, and I would love to know, your story is very inspiring in RuPaul's Drag Race, and I have friends of mine who deeply look up to you. I would love to know, what has it been like to get to interact with fans after being on the show?
I feel like that's honestly the purpose of why you go on Drag Race and push yourself. You know, you share your story, and being here tonight is just so important because I unfortunately have been someone who's been in places where I have been hungrier and I have felt like I needed support. So to be able to work really hard and be a place where you can inspire those and kind of push them to keep going, that literally is that full circle moment that we don't always get, but is so amazing to cherish.
Absolutely, and I would love to know, focusing on the gala tonight, when it comes to Feeding America's mission, what about it inspires you?
I think that, I always say that it's so important to stay hungry, to stay focused, to stay driven, but it's also important to stay feeding. You gotta feed people. You gotta feed the mind, the body, the soul, the spirit, and I think that an event like this does all of those things in one place, and that is so amazing.
And wrapping this up, I would love to know, I'm with Comic Book Resources. We're fully immersed in the world of superheroes. With Feeding America inspiring people to be heroes in their day-to-day life, I would love to know, what heroes inspire you?
Oh my God, I'm definitely inspired by all of the sometimes misunderstood villains. Like, I'm thinking Mystique from X-Men, I'm thinking Catwoman, I'm thinking people who, they feel like life has kind of thrown them a curveball, but with that curveball they find their power, their strength, their ability to rise up. And I like to try to embody that in my day-to-day life and push people to do the same. So that's what we're here to do.
I would love to know, what was the biggest challenge about bringing Polka Dot Man to life?
The biggest challenge in bringing Polka Dot Man to life was probably just getting out of my own way, and James is such an incredible director that was, I felt like his constant direction to me was to just keep letting go of my fears and to not try to create anything artificial. He believed in me as an actor and as an artist to just be in that space and let the polka dot man that's in me, the Abner that lives in me, to come out. And so that was the biggest challenge, I think, just kind of getting out of my own ways, not pushing for anything, allowing the circumstances and this incredible script and world that James created to take over.
And I would also love to know, when it came to working on the Suicide Squad, what were some of your favorite memories from production?
One of my favorite memories was that when my fellow castmates would fall asleep, we would take videos of them while we would be messing with them. So if Daniela fell asleep all the time, she plays Ratcatcher 2, Daniela Melchior, she'd be asleep somewhere and we just sneak around her, dance around her, take goofy videos. That was a great memory.
I would also love to know, since you've been in the world of Ant-Man, in the world of the Suicide Squad, what about these superhero movies really appeal to you and make you keep coming back for more?
Well, I've been collecting comic books my whole life, and I love the modern mythology and the world of storytelling that comic books have brought into my life. So when I have had the opportunity to be a part of cinematic adaptations of characters and stories that I've loved for so long, I don't know, I'm like 12 again, you know?
I have to know, since you are a comic book collector like myself, what are some of your favorite comic books?
Well, right now I'm very into Rodney Barnes' Philadelphia. I love, oh my God, there's so many good titles that are running right now. I love what Marvel's doing with the Hulk. I've been very into several of the different Batman arcs. I love the Joker standalone that just came out this month. I write my own comic book for Dark Horse called Count Crowley, and Amateur Midnight Monster Hunter, which is our second volume, is the last issue's in stores right now. So I'm excited to go to a comic shop and grab one of my own and all the other ones that I love collecting.
I would love to know, since you're a writer on Count Crowley, what is it like for you when it comes to writing that script? What are some of the biggest challenges when it comes to creating a comic book script?
The biggest challenge in writing the comic book for me is making sure that I give my artist enough detail in my panels to help him understand what I need while not dictating the shot or the composition, because I have such a genius collaborator in Lucas Kettner, and he's such a master of comic art. I just try to always constantly find the balance between putting too much on the page and not enough.
Absolutely. And wrapping this up, I would love to know, with Feeding America, inspiring people to be heroes in their everyday life by donating, for you, what heroes inspire you?
I'm so inspired right now by all the young people who came out to vote in the last day. I think that youth activism and young people who are voting about policies that affect much more than their pocketbooks is really inspiring to me. I'm seeing a huge movement of young people who are currently taking the power of their vote and their activism so seriously when it comes to protecting the autonomy of women's bodies and health, when it comes to providing resources for people who are underprivileged, like exactly what we're doing here tonight, helping people who are hungry, helping people who are unhoused, helping people who need access to mental health resources. And I feel like across the board I'm seeing a huge swell of energy and movement from young people that are doing that, and I have to say, those are my heroes, you know, the ones that are out there just showing up.
What was it like to enter the MCU?
I mean, when you put it that way, it sounds so like mind-blowing, but I don't know that I actually conceived of it that way when we first set on set, right? Because we were there to tell a story, and a complete story, and it wasn't necessarily about a property or about a company, it was about this story. And even the folks high up at Marvel, I feel like they really wanted that as well. They wanted this to be a story about this young girl, a coming-of-age story, a chance for her to step into her power, a chance for us to be included into her family and brought into and learn about certain differences in culture, not learn about them like a history lesson, learn about them because they're part of all of our stories. You know, that for me, it was like stepping into one of the best storytelling experiences of my life. And then on top of it, you're like, oh, it's the MCU. Okay, well that doesn't suck.
And speaking of that storytelling, the importance of this storytelling with Miss Marvel, I would love to know, for you, what were some of your favorite memories when it came to creating Miss Marvel with this cast and crew?
I mean, so many behind the scenes hangout memories were wonderful. It was so much fun when we all got the tattoos at the end of the shoot. That was amazing. It was such a wonderful experience. On set, the whole wedding. Like shooting that wedding was such a joy. And it wasn't just such a joy with the people that you recognize on the screen. All of the extras, all of the people who were there, everybody at every table was having so much fun. And it was just like a room filled with love and joy and food and happy. It was like a wedding. It was like a real wedding.
And I would love to know, with so much love going into this project amongst the cast and crew, when it came to the family dynamic in Miss Marvel, what do you think, why does that stand out to so many people when it comes to the show? That family, that community, all those elements, so many people love it. What makes that stand out for you?
Because it's cross-cultural.
There we go.
It isn't about this being a Pakistani community. It isn't about just Jersey City. These are stories that make it obvious that no matter what your cultural background, no matter how traditional or non-traditional you are, there are certain things that all of us have. All the parents care about their children and want them to fly, but also want to keep them safe. All the kids want to love their parents, but they also want to live their lives and be treated like adults, and they want to go off and explore. You know, the community is so tight. It's a dream community. where people look out for each other, whether it's a gossipy auntie or whether it's a beautiful imam at church. It's like at temple, at mosque. This is such a tight community, and it's exactly what you kind of want. You want it to be a microcosm of what we all are doing in every culture.
Absolutely. And wrapping this up, I would love to know, with Feeding America, inspiring people to be heroes in their daily lives by donating, what heroes inspire you?
Oh God, so many. My mom came from, like, her entire family lived in one room in Mumbai. She came to America with my dad. She started her medical practice. She delivered 9 gazillion babies over the course of her time, raised so many children, and so much of what she did, it wasn't about getting the congratulations. A lot like Feeding America, it was just boots on the ground. You do the thing that you need to do because it's what needs to be done, right? And she very much taught me that you don't do things because someone else tells you to or because you think someone else is watching. You do things because it's the right thing to do. And that's exactly what's happening here with BoxLunch and Feeding America.
Seeing how High School Musical has transcended its original trilogy, what was it like to see it expand into this new series?
It was really, at first I didn't know what to expect, I think one thing is that people obviously associate me with High School Musical more than I associate myself with it.
Yeah.
And I do not mean that as a diss in any way.
Yeah.
It's just that I'm 42 years old. I was 25 when I was doing the movies.
Yeah.
I started acting when I was 8 years old. I've done a lot of other things.
Yeah,
and so for me, it was just kind of like, oh, interesting, But now that I've seen it, I am literally so obsessed with these young people. I am so obsessed with Tim Federle and the idea, and it's like so much more iconic, and I'm so grateful for the fact that it has expanded, because now the brand just really stands for so much, like, that we definitely originated, but it's gone to places that we were not able to go in our generation. And so I am just like, I'm thrilled about it. I love the series, and I'm absolutely honored that we get to come back and to have that kind of very meta, but also really like nostalgic, heartfelt, sincere, genuine moment. Like when we came back on set and walked in the gym for the first time, I literally walked in the door, I turned around, and I walked right back out because I was crying so hard. I was like, I have a full face of makeup, I can't do this right now. But it really is, it changed all of our lives in such a big way.
And focusing on the gala tonight, I would love to know, what about BoxLunch as a brand really stands out to you?
Well, I really love the idea of taking pop culture, taking things that are a part of our day-to-day lives, and attaching that to a cause that is so important. A lot of people don't realize how food insecurity affects 1 in 6 people in America. A lot of times, we don't realize that people that we interact with on a day-to-day basis might be experiencing it. And so, it's really, I think it's so wonderful for not just charities, but for companies as well to take on charitable causes and to partner with charities, because I think we can go a lot further when we do it that way.
And wrapping this up, as part of Comic Book Resources, we are fully immersed in the world of superheroes, so I would love to know, with Feeding America, inspiring people to be heroes in their day-to-day, what heroes inspire you?
Oh, I love that. That's a great question. I'm inspired by people who dedicate themselves to service every single day, whether that be nurses or teachers or mothers. I'm just really inspired by people who, I think it's awesome to have big dreams and ambitions and to pursue whatever you feel like your purpose is, but I also feel like it's really important to be there for your family, and that I think is pretty heroic.